to call to order the meeting of the Perkins Public Library Trust for June 6th, 2024 at 6 o'clock. Roll call, please.
All right, so we have Brian Huckabee,
Here.
Linda Barda,
Here.
and Melissa Mills.
Here.
Valerie Hill and Charlotte Perrick are not here today.
Thank you. Number 2, consideration and action on consent agenda. Approval of minutes from the May 2nd, 2024 regular meeting. Approval of minutes from the February 5th, 2024 special joint meeting. Approval of financial reports. Approval of purchase order 2405042 in the amount of $15 to Oklahoma Municipal Assurance Group for property and liability insurance. And finally, approval of blanket purchase orders for fiscal year 2025. Give you a minute to look through things.
I'm just looking for what it said about what we said when we elected you two to be the subcommittee. Charlotte, or moved to appoint Linda Barton Brader to be
Yeah.
the subcommittee.
To the subcommittee for the library trust to coordinate with Corbin Martini.
I'll make a motion to approve it.
I'll second.
Since Charlotte isn't here, I can be there too. She's always the first one.
Yeah,
She's like, let's get it moving.
Johnny on the spot.
All right, then Brian,
Yes.
Linda,
Yes.
and Melissa.
Yes.
All right, item number 3, discussion of possible action on items removed from the consent agenda. Nothing was removed. Item 4, public appearances, petitions, communications, and personal appearances. There are none. Item 5, consideration and discussion regarding update from Brian Huckabee on the progress of the new library project.
I got an email back from John today. I was quizzing him about schedule. And let me find it here real quick. I printed it and then I forgot to bring it, so
Gotcha.
1 second. Oh my gosh. Well, the short story, there it is. Okay. So June 12th, he has a question mark, but he's planning a site visit. That's a Wednesday.
Okay.
Don't have a time, it's not nailed down, but
Okay.
what I would probably try to steer him toward is like a mid-afternoon kind of deal. And he could start here and maybe you and anybody else that wants to meet here, poke around, and then go see the new building again.
I'll be out of town
Okay.
next week, so.
And I don't know what I have work-wise that day, but I was thinking if I can't get here, I could, by the time
Maybe
they're
get down
here,
there.
maybe by 3:30 or 4, I can catch up with the group. And
Well, I was gonna say, and Beck and I will both be out of town.
on the
next
12th,
week.
On the 12th?
Yes.
Can we rearrange the site visit to a different date?
he had a question mark on it, so we can.
When will you be back in town?
The following Monday, I'm gone like all next week.
Okay, same.
Girl Scout camp.
So what's June 12th? So maybe I'll just steer him toward the 17th,
That week.
somewhere that week.
Yeah.
Sometime that week, yeah.
And then
So
So his
the next
basic-
Wednesday maybe, if, I don't know if Wednesday's a better day for him or what, but, yeah.
well, I'll point out the next week to him, see what he comes back with, and then we can
Go from there.
coordinate.
Okay.
But he's thinking after that, you know, a week, 2 weeks later, have a schematic design meeting where they would probably come with their first take on it. We can say yay, nay, do this, do that.
Yeah.
And then early July, have a 25% design review meeting, which they would take our initial feedback from their
Right.
draft, come back with something closer to the truth, have a meeting on that,
Right.
and then somewhere near the end of July, have a 50% design review. And then mid-August, a 95% review, and early September, he has on here September 2nd, completion of construction documents,
Gotcha. Which that should work out.
which any of this could go better or worse.
Right. Right.
That's perfect because, yeah,
Well,
by
they'll
that
some-
time,
they'll
well, and
have
by
the
that
money.
time, my life picks up to be
Yeah.
crazy, so summer is
Yeah.
great.
And, well, I quizzed y'all the other day about, I know we've had other people give input on design. We don't really care where a door goes or a window, but just basic programming. I mean, he's got our initial design that kind of has spaces defined
Right.
and that, but like I was telling Nikki, in the next couple of weeks, we probably need to review like National Library standards, design, agenda that they use on a national level,
Right.
so that maybe we can incorporate a few of those things, point out to John, because I think they're doing that homework on their own. But,
Right.
I mean, if we have any knowledge like that under our hat and say, for this type of children's space, we need so many square feet per child, stuff like that, or we'd like, these areas to be about this big with the idea that in the future, maybe we could do this or do that, or,
Right.
I mean, just general input like that. But then I think too, if we have some kind of plan, and I don't know what I'm talking about because I'm not a library guru, but at the tail end of it, if we can say it's got the stamp of approval of whatever state organization,
Yeah.
federal organization, might open us up to more grants for furnishings
Programming.
and stuff going forward.
Yeah.
If somebody at national level can come in and say, holy smoke, you guys knocked it out of the park, you got everything we think you need to have
Right.
in the library.
Right.
Like I said, I don't know all the bells and whistles involved with that. I mean, it's,
Yeah, we definitely
a
can
lot
do
more
some
than that.
looking.
So, but if we have any homework like that, we could do on our own in the meantime here,
Okay.
something we can.
So, a question that I had about, like, if the architect comes and if I come and you two are here, would that be a problem? Yes.
Yes.
That
we
would
make
be
a
3
quorum.
people. Yep, you just
Okay.
can't discuss anything and almost have to keep, and I don't know the exact amount of distance, but yeah, you can't be like huddled together just in case.
Then on that day, I mean, if you want to be around too, I mean, we can split those days. And like I said,
Yeah, I
You
would.
can all
I would not have
absolutely
to
be
be
here
there.
and just be in like.
Just be here, but
different parts
not
of the library,
talking.
you two, yeah, kind of.
because my input's not going to be so much on any programming or use of space. It's
I could just come and not talk. I just want to see. I just want to see it. I'm just curious. So, I can try to abide by enough rules to where we don't break quorum or anything.
Well, and on those days, I can see where, when he's going to shoot us a draft and say, here's a
Proposed.
starting point.
Yeah.
We can pass it
We
around.
definitely can bring that back and share
Share
it, and
it.
everybody can have
Yeah,
some
that's a good
input
point.
at that point.
But
Yeah.
then
I would
If
think.
we do that on a Saturday morning or whatever evening down here too, I mean, you can sit down here and if Melissa wants to roll in,
Yeah.
look at it, give you her thoughts, and then
Just,
You
Valerie can-
schedule it
and
so
then
that we're
Yes.
coming and going and
Coming and
not
going.
everybody
Yeah.
sitting together.
Okay. Okay.
We can
Well,
do
we can.
something like
Yeah.
Because 3 makes a
Well,
quorum.
we'll see.
in
And
our group.
again, it may be that I'm not able to come to any of these meetings, or who knows?
Yeah.
We'll see.
We don't
I
want
would
to
love
exclude.
for you if you could.
We can just schedule it so you can have your peek and say, and
Okay.
I'll sit in the truck till
Exactly.
you're done.
Okay.
So,
I'll walk in, you walk out, and we walk
Uh-huh.
in and you walk out.
Tag in, tag out.
Yeah, shuffle it. Well, we want to make it as correct as we can.
Yeah.
We do not want to make that be an issue.
Okay.
So that's what I got on John, so I'll communicate with him, see if we can steer him toward the week of the 17th for a site visit, and then give everybody heads up and see how we can orchestrate that, so whoever wants to and needs to can be here.
Okay. Sounds good.
And then in the meantime, if anybody has any programming general comments. I mean, design steering stuff and not nitpicky. We want a fireplace or a door here, or what kind of lighting we want. It's premature for a lot of that.
That's really early right now. We need to talk about big space and what's necessary.
Yeah. It will streamline it, and we'll get more bang for our buck if we get him started on the right path early. And then they can spend more of their efforts fine-tuning the design that we settle on early instead of reinventing the wheel the whole way through. So,
All right, sounds good. Item number 6, consideration and discussion regarding next steps of the new library renovations. That's what we kind of just did. Those kind of go together.
Thank you.
well, I think we kind of decided. I mean, I guess I never heard back on the idea of splitting some of the exterior work out like we'd wanted to. I think that was kind of tabled, and Tammy was going to get back to us on that.
Yeah.
And I'm not adamant that that needs done, but I think we still have that T-Mobile money sitting that it would probably be nice to do parcel something out and get it spent. And
Even if it's like getting electricity run into the building or whatever, those utility things that we need to do, something.
Which I've sent another follow-up because I haven't heard back anything, and I'm like, it's been a month.
Yeah.
And so I've reached out, like, even to.
I don't think they care now that they've written the check.
Right, well.
There was
I'm
no-
trying to do our due diligence.
Well,
So,
some
hey,
grants, right, there are some grants that require you to do a follow-up, and you have to show that you spent the money based on what the grant was for. I mean, that happened with me with a couple for school, and so they needed to know you did what they told you were doing.
Well, and at OSU, they take the money back if you don't spend it all.
Yeah, about their groups.
Well, and there was nothing stipulated in there.
well, I don't know, if we don't spend it before we bid this and award the whole project, can that money just roll into the funds,
To pay for the,
Yeah,
into the overall building project?
because you're still gonna have to do the outside eventually.
Yeah. And we can
So it's
always,
gonna become part of that project regardless.
it's gonna be utilized, it's gonna be appreciated.
It's still gonna be the same project, yeah, funds are still gonna go to that exact thing. I just,
Right.
know the answers.
And I think that's the whole intent.
Right.
All right, any other business? All right, number 7, new business. I don't believe we have any. Number 8, adjourn.
It's too easy.
All right, 6:17, all right, then I need somebody to make a motion to adjourn.
motion we adjourn?
I'll second.
All right, then Brian,
Yep.
Linda,
Yes.
and Melissa. All right, and I got a bunch of stuff for you to sign.
Okay.
So I might see if we can put something about the weeds on the next agenda.
Oh, all right.